This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Charlie Main's intentions are purer than even the most deserving of angels, and well, that's a little strange considering she's the daughter of Lucifer himself, right? What exactly made her so nice, and why does she care so much about saving sinners specifically? Today, I'll be telling you why I think the hotel is so important to her. As always, subscribing to my channel really helps keep it going. Many of you tune in regularly, yet don't sub. Not only does it support me, it makes sure you get alerted to all my latest Hazbin and Helliver content. If you're feeling extra generous, check out the Patreon in my description for some awesome perks. Now back to the video.
Yes, let's do this!
Alright, so to understand how Charlie ended up this way, it makes sense to first take a look at her upbringing. She was born to the literal king of hell, Lucifer, and his queen, Lilith. What exactly do we know about them, and what can they tell us about Charlie? Lucifer is apparently a total goof, if you couldn't tell by the circus getup. Forstis has stated that while he's not a good father, he's at least a very loving one and cares for his daughter deeply, which, you know, definitely comes through in this drawing by Viv. Unfortunately though, their relationship has hit a bit of a bump, which we'll get to later. As for Lilith, a lot less is known, and it's not even exactly clear which depictions of her that Hazbin Hotel's version takes from. However, we might have been told more than you realise. She's elegant and calm, and interestingly she's stated to be politically charged. In the pilot itself, Charlie talks about how busy she is, which is evident from Lilith letting the phone go to voicemail whenever she calls. The fact Charlie confides in her though may tell us that they share a very good relationship.
Love you. Bye.
So why exactly is she so busy? In the episode itself, there's a poster for a band called Resist that reads Lilith in concert. Resist certainly does sound like a politically charged band, and it also sounds pretty rebellious. Could Lilith rebelling against Heaven's oppressive regime be where Charlie gets her own rebellious spirit from? Now it's time to start constructing Charlie's childhood. With Lucifer being a bad father, and Lilith being a busy mother, Charlie experiencing some neglect is a no-brainer. Even when Lilith is home, the couple are apparently deeply in love, and it figures they'd be paying a lot of attention to each other instead of their daughter a lot of the time. Luckily, Charlie had entertainment in the form of her sentient plushy bodyguards, Razzle and Dazzle. Lucifer gifted them to Charlie as a child, and they can be seen a couple of times in the pilot. We don't know too much about them, but they're pretty goofy and are said to be extremely loyal to Charlie. With plushies raising her more than her own parents, is it really any surprise she turned out as soft and sweet as she did?
You're going to love it here!
Okay, that kind of explains her nature, but doesn't say too much about her empathy to the plight of sinners. How'd that happen? Charlie most definitely lived a sheltered life, as evidenced by her naivety to how sinners would react to her broadcast, and with how trusting she is even to sinners like Alastor as well. I believe that during her early years, she had most likely only really socialised with heirs and heiresses to royalty or other wealthy families, such as Goetia or the Von Eldritch family. The latter of which being Charlie's ex-boyfriend Leviathan's family. Basically, she's never really slummed it up with the commoners before recently. So here's my theory. When she did learn of how hard sinners have it with the cleanse, it would have been a massive shock to her and would have upset the softie greatly.
That was really uncool, you know, Angel.
But how exactly would she have learned of the cleanse in the first place, being so sheltered and rich that she wouldn't have to worry about it? The main family definitely would have had servants, and while I'm not sure if only sinners experienced the cleanse or if hellborns do as well, they very easily could have had sinner servants. Not all of them are cut out to be overlords after all. Now, Charlie is the kind of person who'd make friends with all of her servants, right? I think that goes without saying. And that being the case, I'm sure many would have opened up to her about their plights, such as losing loved ones to the cleanse, or narrowly avoiding it themselves. That checks out for why she cares about the cleanse. But what gave her the crazy idea of redeeming sinners? I'm glad you asked. I believe that breaking up with her ex-boyfriend Leviathan put a strain on Charlie's relationship with her father. The Von Eldritch family were clearly well acquainted with the Mains, judging by this painting, and as such, it makes sense if Lucifer was gunning for the relationship to work out.
Oops.
Sev is also apparently very evil, albeit in a lame jock way, and Lucifer probably wanted him to stamp out Charlie's good heart. That clearly didn't work out. After a rough argument, the same one she's referring to when she tells Lilith that her dad was right about her, she decided to move out on her own to the family building that would later become the Happy Hotel. It's while living there that she'd meet Vaggie. While Vaggie may be Charlie's kind and supportive moth GF right now, I don't believe that's always been the case. It's apparent to pretty much everybody that Vaggie has a short temper, and it's due to this that many of us have speculated that her sin has something to do with murdering someone in a fit of rage, or some other heinous rage-fueled act. However, if that is the case, it's clear she's changed. Vaggie calms herself down for Charlie's sake instead of letting her anger get the best of her. If she could do this while alive, she might have been able to prevent her wrathful sin. She has self-control now. She doesn't deserve to be in hell. Whether this change was before or after Charlie and Vaggie became girlfriends, I'm not sure. Either way, I think Charlie saw this positive change and realized that other sinners are capable of changing as well. Thus sprung the idea to actively redeem sinners.
Everyone's smiling and happy in heaven.
I mean, if her dad can get kicked out of heaven for being bad, then heaven can let people in for being good, right? It's after realizing this that she had come up with the idea to repurpose her home into the Happy Hotel. While her mother continued to support her, as she'd obviously be against the cleanse, her father would cut ties, not supporting her lifestyle or believing in her plans. Don't go yet, but be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this theory, and subscribe for more awesome Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss content. Before I go, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes that'll teach you the skills you need to pursue your passions. Wanna be a YouTuber like me? There are courses for that. An animator? Sure thing. An accountant? You know it. They even have software-specific classes such as the video editing class for Premiere Pro by Jordi Vanderput, which I found particularly helpful for making videos. Skillshare is an ad-free experience, and they're always launching new premium classes. All they care about is providing the best learning experience possible, whether you're a beginner or an expert. Skillshare also believes that a strong community is essential to personal growth, and so do I. That's why the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thanks so much if you stayed all the way to the end, and I'll see you next time.